they look quite comfortable and playing loose and free, and it's playing into their advantage as they're looking for their first win over Nebraska. Their only one came back in 2012.
Yeah, no question. They're showing really good fight and determination, but also smart play. They're taking really good swings, managing their swings. Lindsey Vanderwater, I'm sure that he's very pleased with her. Hey, their numbers might not be that big right now as far as percentage hitting, but they're scoring points when they have to have points, and they're blocking when they have to have blocks. And I've got to go back to this. Does Matt Ulmer look like Robert Pattinson a little bit? He looks like he could be maybe a double. I don't know. They kind of look similar when you get them head on.
One of the youngest coaches
Yeah.
in the Pac-12. Just turned 33 earlier this month. And Brooke Von Sickle has done an amazing job all over the court, covers so much ground, and certainly when she gets up in the air, you see her jumps 27.5, 26 a couple of times as well. That's her 3 best jumps. So that technology coming into play. And what I like about Coach Ulmer is the fact that he was just like, put them on everybody. Let's see. We're just about everybody. Let's just see what they do.
Look, when you're young like this, you'll try anything. Look, he's not set in his ways. Nothing's set in stone for him right now as a 33-year-old first-year head coach. So he likes all this new information. Van Sickle, just her leaping ability. Look, she's 5'9", shortest player on the floor on the front row. But she's able to get up and really do damage with a hard-hit ball.
Tip played at the net. And Holman coming right back. Recognized that there was no one in right back.
Yep, just smart play right there by the middle blocker. Hadn't really got her game going yet. We haven't seen the consistency and the damage that she can do to an opponent.
And is that because, there's a new setter that you're working with now and just trying to find that rhythm?
How about there's 4 or 5 new players on the team? 4 or 5
new players, I mean.
Yeah, the setter has a lot. I mean, that definitely has something to do with it. There's so much timing involved between a setter and their hitters. So, especially the middle hitters, those are hard timing issues because of the short sets, a little bit higher sets, the shoot sets. There's so much going on, but also ball control and giving the ball to the setter in the right spots.
Well, looking steady at the right pin is Willow Johnson. She's got a big arm and a big future ahead of her. The upside is looking bright for this sophomore. And right now, Nebraska just seems to be a little out of sync. If you are John Cook and you're thinking about it's new, it's re-energizing, it's all that kind of stuff. How frustrated are you with it so early in the season? I mean, it's the opening match.
Well, it is just the opening match. There's so much to learn with this team being as young and inexperienced as they are. So there's a lot to learn during the match, after the match, as you're watching film. So, right now they're struggling percentage-wise. They were 7th in the NCAA in hitting percentage last year. So right now there's still so much of the season to go. There's going to be a lot to learn from this match. It's far from over. For volleyball, you never know when you can turn around. Just ask Penn State.
Last year.
Last year.
That's right.
Yeah, let's go back and revisit that real quick because Penn State is up 2-0 in a regional semifinal match in Lincoln, Nebraska. Match point, and Nebraska comes back and wins that match 3-2 to send them to the regional finals. So, yes, volleyball, it ain't over till it's over.
That's right. And we have a little bit of Lincoln behind us as the Huskers fans traveled well. That's one of the new things for several of these players. They may know about the Nebraska tradition, but being able to play a scrimmage in front of 6,000 fans at the Devaney Center, that's all new, and you just soak it all up and your eyes wide open sometimes. And while it's pretty cool sometimes it can be overwhelming.
Let's send it down to Holly real quick. She's waving her hand at me. Holly, what you got?
Okay, I just want to express disappointment in you two as my broadcast partners that every time Jazz Sweet has a kill, you don't say sweet with the kill. So could we please start that? Like, it's just a no-brainer.
We were waiting for you, Holly. We were waiting for you to send that one to us.
Holly, you're the trendsetter, so you speak.
Hashtag sweet.
You speak, we will do. Sweet has double-digit kills with 10.
I tell you, she's going to have a great career at Nebraska. Again, she's just a freshman, but she's showing us some pretty special ability out on that right side. She's a lefty out there, which is an advantage to play on that right side as a left-hander. But right now, she's hitting .450. She's 10 of 20. But more importantly, she only has one hitting error. That's almost impossible. I mean, those are excellent numbers for Jazz Sweet. And Nebraska is challenging this last play. Again, this is a rule that the SEC, the Big 12 use all season long. The challenge, they're using it here in the Vert Challenge this weekend. But you have 3 for a match. So they're challenging whether this ball is in or out. It looks like it's going to be in right there from that play, but I'm not the replay official.
Right.
So.
We'll have to wait and see. So you can challenge if it's out or a violation.
Yeah, it looks like it really looks good. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. They have some different angles that they look at.
And the line judge called it in on the floor.
Again, each team has 3 challenges during the course of a match. If you win the challenge, you still lose that challenge. You don't get it back like football but as we've seen in some other sports. But right now, we'll see what they come up with. They're taking a little more time to call this. And right now, Nebraska needs some help. They need something to energize them a little bit. Their team looks a little bit out of sorts, I guess. And I think that goes for some inexperience. They're still trying to find who is the leader of this team. Obviously, it's going to be Kelly Hunter when she gets back on the floor. The junior All-American setter will be back, or the senior All-American setter will be back. But with her not on the floor, it definitely is leaving a void for Nebraska. And I think we're seeing it in just being able to just finish plays out, finish sets out.
Yeah, 8 Nebraska players without experience for the Huskers on the court. So because of that, it's going to be paramount for Hunter and for Fecky and Albright to step up and step in as those leaders.
Yeah, and also you've got to get that great play. John Cook believes so much in Lauren Stivrins. He saw such great play out of her in that red and white scrimmage. So she's a player he's counting on in the middle, taking over for Amber Rawson, a phenomenal middle for her career at Nebraska.
Stivrins, number 26 in Wida, top 10 prospect according to prepvolleyball.com.
So they call the ball in, so Oregon gets the point. The challenge is lost by Nebraska, but play moves on. I like the challenge.
I was going to ask you, since the challenge has been instituted, do you like it? Have you found it to be helpful?
I do. I found it to be helpful. My only thing I don't like about it, sometimes it gets a little too long in them making their decision. Hey, let's get it, see the shot, and move on.
Albright. The idea is to hit them where they ain't.
That's a beautiful shot by Albright. A little off speed right in the center of the floor. That Oregon defense was really back on their heels, waiting for it to come at them a little harder. Really nice play.
Sydney Townsend, senior DS, and to serve. And that one goes long. What has changed for Nebraska since that early 10-2 start that they had in set number 1.
I really think the comeback by Oregon, being able to hit some shots, and it just rattled them. And we go back to the leadership. Who's gonna pull us together right now? You know, and hey, it's okay. Let's go. It's okay. And a player of Kelly Hunter's stature, her experience, can do that. And right now, I think Nebraska's struggling to find that on the floor.
And the tip from Fecky. So stringing a couple of points together are the Huskers as they take the lead, 8-7.
And you just, 1 point at a time. Fecky finding a little bit more confidence, finding those shots. Her players start elevating their play. You never know when that's going to happen and how it happens, but plays like that can make it happen.
She tried to take that one down the line, but beyond the boundary line. You think about Fecky, a couple of years ago in that 2015 national championship run, she comes off the floor as the most outstanding player as a freshman, as the Huskers were able to defeat Texas.
And what a great experience for Fecky. Look who she's surrounded with. The Rolfson twins, Justine Mongerontes. You got, Kelly Hunter setting. You've got a lot of experience on the floor, so you're a freshman. Boy, you could just play free.
And we're seeing Nebraska continuously go back to Fecky, look to call her number 2 in white.
Yeah, and as they should, because she's a player that can get up in the air and change her angle in the air. She might be looking cross court right there, and look where that ball goes, right down the line, over the block.
Rasky to August. So Taylor August, the senior out of Happy Valley, Oregon.
I like that name.
Yeah,
I'm from Happy Valley. Do you think anybody believes her when she says it? Where are you from, Happy Valley?
Like, right. Fecky with the tip, and right there is Rasky. Right idea, just couldn't get it down as we send it over to Holly.
Well, we saw that great hit from August. They have so much great depth on this Oregon team in the front row, and that's why the 6-2 system, where they always have a setter in the back row, they're able to keep more hitters in the front row, works out so well for the Oregon Ducks. They've got so much talent and depth. I mean, you look at Jolie Rasmussen even in playing today, Lindsay Vanderweide. Of course, we love Veronica out here. Stone doing such a great job in the front row. So just so much depth at hitter, really maximizing this system.
Yeah, no question. And that's why they run that 6-2, because he has so many hitters. He wants to get them on the front row, make sure they get lots of different opportunities to hit the ball. And again, yes, like Holly said, they still have players that are out with some injuries, but he's maximizing what he has on his team. That's why, again, a young coach coaching to the ability of his players and giving them max reps.
When you see August Rasky check out and Maggie Scott come back in at the setter position, and one of the things that he admitted to us that both of those setters are really suited for a 5-1 offense, but they're being selfless and doing whatever is best for the team, and it's working so far.
Yeah, there's no question. You have to be selfless in that respect. But again, it gives them the best opportunity to keep a big block at the net with those three bigger hitters. So it has a lot of advantages, some disadvantages, but a lot, I think, more advantages.
Well, this third set, we've seen a lot of ties. It's gone back and forth. It's knotted at 12 right now. Albright trying to change that. Point goes to the Ducks, though. A jazz sweet. There we go, Holly. And Sweet has been so effective, better than .450 in her hitting percentage
Well, no question, she's been their go-to player in this match. She is not disappointed in her first match as a freshman at Nebraska. So this is going to be an exciting day for her to be in a real match. Not a red and white scrimmage, but I mean against the number 18 team in the country. And really playing well.
And perhaps a lot could depend on, or a lot of Nebraska's success could depend on how well and how quickly Jazz Sweet develops.
Well, not only Jazz Sweet, but you go back to the Lauren Stivrins right here. If Stivrins can really hold the middle blocker, like really that quick transition with her feet and always going up and presenting herself, then that's holding the opponent's middle blocker, and then Sweet's going against a one-on-one. She's going to be hard to stop one-on-one.
Here's Gill. Gill's been a little quiet here in this third set after coming out of the blocks hard. Stivrins, the overpass from just off of Scott. And with that hard hit and kill, it's Nebraska up by 1 here in set number 3 from the Vert Challenge in Gainesville. The number 5 Huskers looking hot. The big shot from Albright. Challenge later tonight. It's number 1 Texas taking on 12th ranked Florida. You can catch that one on the SEC Network starting at 7 Eastern. Then all 4 teams will be in action tomorrow night on the SEC Network as well, starting at 5 Eastern. It's Nebraska and Florida, and then Oregon and Texas closing things out. That final match starting at 7:30 Eastern on the Longhorn Network. And I can't wait for the next match between the Longhorns and the Gators.
I think Florida has had that circuit on their calendar for 2 years now. We'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little tease. Get your appetite wet.
That's right, come on back. That's what good passing gets you right there. So Kenzie Malone serves it up on a platter to Hunter Atherton, but who puts it away but freshman Lauren Stivrins? Look at this right there. So the timing is perfect. So that's what perfect ball control, that's what it does for your offense.
That's been a staple of John Cook's teams.
That ball, the cut on this ball by Lindsay Vanderweide was just outstanding. Look at her cut. Look at that. That's inside the 10-foot line. No way is Kenzie Maloney getting that ball.
And Maloney stepping in to keep that one alive. Lasky to Van Sickle. And a net violation called on Gill. So erase that point for the Ducks and give it to Nebraska.
Yeah, just a little bit of an overplay right there by Gill, following through into the net.
Now this is where it's been dangerous. Matches have been, the sets have been tied at 15 all in the first 2. Here we are again. It's been Oregon who's gotten stronger as the set has gone on. Now we're seeing Nebraska trying to swing the pendulum back in their favor.
And I'm sure this is an area of the match that John Cook is concerned about. You've got to tighten this up right now. The passing has to be superb. You've got to be really mentally tough at this point to not give away points.
We're seeing some great athletic plays and bodies bending everywhere to try to keep the ball up. Net violation.
So we've seen 2 net violations here, pretty much back-to-back for Nebraska, and that's where you go back to that mental toughness. You just can't give points away at a critical point in the set. So those are areas that you know that Nebraska can go back, they can talk about, they can work on, and tighten that part up. But right there, the press down on the net by Holman, it's a good call.
John Cook didn't seem too worried. He said, right now in the preseason, the idea is for us to just be good. By the time that we get to conference play, we need to be great. And of course, when you get into the NCAA tournament, at that point, that's when we need to be unstoppable.
Right, and I think he's broken it down in ways that his team can see that vision. They don't have the pressure right now of being like Nebraska of last year. Hey, we've got to be good. We've got to understand what we're trying to do, where we're trying to go. We've got to tighten things up. We've got to be good. And then you've got time to become great. And then you've got time to be unstoppable when the NCAA tournament gets there. I think it's a great way to break that down and have it understood by his players.
Well, the last couple of years, it's been a tough sled for Oregon as they have not been able to get a victory in this vert challenge, but they are closing in on their first if they can hold tight and take down Nebraska. Meanwhile, Florida and the Huskers have the best records at 3-1. So Matt Ulmer was a part of the staff last year that hosted this tournament in Eugene. Next year, it will head to Lincoln.
And he's 6'7". Okay, he wanders that sideline at 6'7", but when he was a freshman in high school, he was 4'11". That's really hard to believe.
I love how he talked about the progression, and he said, you know what? By the time I was a senior, then I became 5'11". So we said, well, how did you become a setter? He said, I was just willing to play anywhere on the floor. It didn't matter. Then he sprouted up.
He's played every position on the floor because his growth just continued to grow from his freshman year on. Nice play by Taylor August right there, getting it through the Nebraska block. Again, things that they can definitely work on, the press in, the making sure that you've got hands on the ball. But Oregon right now, just to me, as you look at the two teams, just sitting here watching, their body language, their energy level is really outstanding. They're excited. They feel very confident right now. So did Brianna Holman on that swing. Very confident swing. This is a dynamic athlete. I love this little shoot set right there in the middle, little off center from the middle, but she has such great hops. She gets up and gets on top of that ball for the kill.
Former All-American at LSU before transferring over, and boy, is it nice to have someone like a Brianna Holman on your team who can just give teams fits. The opponents sometimes just don't know what to do with her.
Van Sickle, again, the smallest player at the net right there, just able to get up and get on top of that ball and place it. She does a good job of placing her ball. Not only swings hard, but does a good job of putting it in the right spot.
Service ace for Van Sickle. So again, all facets of her game looking strong here tonight.
That's where I would just, as a coach, I'd be pulling my hair out right there. And you can't show that frustration. But again, when you get in the 20s, this is where you just gotta make plays, make smart plays, and not give up those points.
That was tight to the net. Stone gets it over and somehow gets it to fall. Well, see, that's what's happened in favor for Oregon. So many different players have been able to create shots, make things happen. Veronica Stone is one of 4 players with 8 kills. Meanwhile, Nebraska has Fecky with 7 kills and Jazz Sweet Those are the only two with 7 or more.
Yeah, that's an area that I think we'll see improve for Nebraska as they continue to grow and learn.
Difference delivers.
When you have a great setter, I don't think you can say enough about them and the effect they have on a team, no question. I think Hunter Atherton is getting a great opportunity to get some prime playing time in this tournament. But there's really no comparison with a Kelly Hunter, at this point in her career.
Right. With
the leadership, the abilities of Hunter, what she brings to the floor as far as the offense and running different plays. She's a difference maker.
And again, to be fair, just opening weekend.
Right.
Too strong from Albright, but the line judge says it was tipped, so the point goes.
That could be I'm wondering if Matt might try to challenge that, or no, he's going to call the timeout. I thought maybe he was going to challenge that, but the linesman was right on that. She did not hesitate in calling the touch. Right off the fingertips, the outside fingertips right there. The tough part about even if you go back and replay that, the tough part is you can't really tell if it's on the finger unless we see one bend back. Well, we saw it move, absolutely. So good call right there by the linesman and good camera work right there by the camera guys.
Excellent work. Well, we told you that several of the Oregon players are wearing the Vert technology, and we've been able to track just how high they jumped, how many times they jumped. Brooke Van Sickle has the leading jump. Samit Gill right behind her at 26 inches. And how about Veronica Stone coming right behind?
Yeah, interesting off that 1 foot approach, that takeoff right there, Veronica and Samit getting up there, but nobody's taking the lead over Brooke Van Sickle right there at 5'9". She is getting up and doing some damage with her swings.
So Matt Ulmer just has exciting times ahead of him for not only the reigning of the preseason, but of course really interested to see how this team melds together once it gets into conference play. And can they rattle a few things within the Pac-12?
Well, picked third in the Pac-12 behind Washington and Stanford. So big things expected of them. A lot of respect from the coaches in the Pac-12 of his talent.
And set point for Nebraska.
This is where the serve becomes very important right here for Nebraska.
Townsend hits it. Van Sickle to Johnson. Johnson just in.
Well, just a beautiful play right there by Oregon. The setter had to dig the ball, and so but she knew exactly where she was going to put it, and I think Oregon's teamwork right there was outstanding.
And a quick timeout taken by John Cook on the floor as he wisely talks it over with his team before they perhaps take the third set. But what a way to come back if you're Nebraska, because you start off so strong and you're feeling good about yourself, and then you kind of deflate it maybe a little bit because Oregon goes on those runs, but you look even better here in set number 3, and you're winning those back and forth balls.
I think it's been a great learning experience for both of these teams, but really for Nebraska, it's going to be interesting to see how they come out of this timeout, because they've got to really hang tough to slow down this Oregon team, because that's a very confident team right now, Oregon. I don't know if they think they could be beat right now, but again, John Cook, the master teacher, master coach, there's a lot of teaching going on in that timeout huddle right now.
Big Ten Coach of the Year a season ago, and when you look at the hitting percentages over each of these sets, Oregon has gotten stronger and stronger. But look here, in set number 3, Nebraska hitting above 300. So starting to click. May have taken just a little bit of time, but they're starting to get more comfortable.
Well, and really those numbers tell you exactly the way this match has gone so far. As the numbers have grown for the Huskers, just that the confidence has grown. But again, they just can't seem to pull away from Oregon. The confidence that the Ducks are playing with, and I think the newness of a new coach, the excitement of a new season, a new team, I think is really we're seeing that right now.
Townsend handles it. Atherton. Again, set point for Nebraska. Played well and saved by Fecky. And tipped over off the block. To Stivrins. And pushing it back over.
Just the will of the Oregon players. Really, Lindsey Vanderweider right there just willing herself to hang in the air long enough to get her fingers on that ball.
Have continuously said it throughout this match, the timing of those service errors.
You can handle the missed serves, maybe down when 1 through 10, 1 through 12, but boy, when it starts getting in those higher numbers of the set, especially at that point in time.
Another opportunity for Nebraska. Here's August. Great save and big by Honart. On the other side, Albright looking equally as strong. What a rally. Giving chase. Honart able to keep it alive. Rasky hits it over.
Wow.
What a way to close out set number 3. Terrific defense on both sides. It's Nebraska pulling out the point and winning set number 3.
You have got to be kidding me on this rally to finish the set this way. Nebraska needed that in the worst way in order to just get a little bit of grasp of this match. They're back in it. The Nebraska Cornhuskers with the win on the big-time rally at the end.